Alrighty, right. Here we are once again. My name is Steve Jaguar. This is a Beernative beer review. It has been ages. I don't know if you noticed, but I took some time off. Doing beer reviews every week or every second week is like, turns out it's like a lot of thinking and work and beer and I did a whole great series while I was in Barcelona, and then I did a little bit of traveling, a little bit of me time where I decided to just drink beer and enjoy it. But I'm back, and I decided that I'm gonna show you some beers that I absolutely love that for some reason just have bypassed the show. So let's get into it. Okay, I'm just looking. I have 0 live viewers. I gave less than 5 minutes notice before I was going to do this one, and I haven't done a show in ages. So I'm sure YouTube is like giving up on me. I assumed that I was, trapped under something heavy or hit by a large truck or something. But I didn't allude to what I was going to be reviewing in the thumbnail, as you can see here, in my heavily grizzled face. My favorite supermarket beer, maybe is important. I'm not 100%. This is my favorite, but if you're like me, you like to try new beers. Maybe you order beers online. You go to craft beer bottle shops. You maybe go to the breweries direct, and you buy new things, and it's always a really fun adventure. Variations on the theme, but still always exciting and new as people are turning out amazing new, weird, chemical, alchemistic variations on different hops and malts. The possibilities are endless. Except every now and then you go back to the supermarket, or maybe I've been spending a lot of time in Canada, the LCBO, right? And there are certain ones you always go and get because you're like, yeah, I like that one. And I realize there's a reasonable selection of beers that make it into my fridge that, because they were, I don't know, maybe because they were supermarket beers, I haven't reviewed them. And that is a shame, because they're beers I like and they're beers I should be passing on to people who watch this channel. And today we are going to be talking about one of those. And that beer is, let's raise it up at the big reveal. It is Northern Monk's Sexy Can. I mean, check the art right away, right? That's worthy a review. Just the can. It's so badass. Hazy, juicy, tropical, transient, hazy, double dry hopped IPA at 7%. Almost hitting the perfection of all things. Hazy, double dry hop IPA 7%. Come on, right? Brilliant art. Roll it around and let's take a look at this interesting combo. Let's get all the sweat off of it so we can read it. Strata and Citra. How about that? And I love how they always have these get to know the brewers kind of scenarios, right? I mean, it's probably hard to see what Ben is saying, giving us his little tidbit into his life. I was on the TV program 50/50 when I was a kid. Good old Ben, brother number 79. So we're going to be trying this. And if your brain's already ticking away, if you're like a hop citric individual like myself, you're thinking Citra and Strata. Most people who like IPAs know Citra, and if they see it on the menu or on the recipe list, they're going to be drawn to it because they know they're going to get like a piney grapefruit, bit of fruit forward, something that sits right in the middle. It's a West Coast hop, but it sits kind of in the middle of the country. It's neither east nor west. This has been brewed more like an East Coast. It's got Citra, but the secret ingredient is the Strata. Strata has this passion fruit, very dank, so a little bit of like that cannabis twist on it. And it's really interesting. I've become a fan of it over the last year or so. So I've had very few beers that have just gone Citra as a let's say a reliable baseline hop, and then just throw some Strata on it, and then double dry hop it. Come on, right? And then make it hazy so you've got some nice mouthfeel. Let's pop that open, right? I mean, the moment it opens, you've got something that kind of burns your nose a little bit. And you can get a little bit of dank, but not over the top. So you're not just opening it and going, all right, your mom's walking in the room going, are you smoking weed again? Not happening. But it's kind of there. There's a bit of what feels like bitter, but also this sort of peachy stone fruitiness that you're getting out of the can. And I've not even poured it in a glass yet. I think it's really adventurous of Northern Monk to somehow establish a beer with a hop like Strata as a regular repeat offender within the supermarket genre, I'd say, of beers, because supermarket beers are different from beers you're just going to go buy, which they're allowed to be adventurous if you're going to the brewery and buying a beer. If you're going to establish something as a standard that represents your brand, a flagship, if you will, I think a lot of breweries would be like, no way are we going near Strata. No way. It's too cannabisy. Now, what's awesome is I like that sort of funk. I like that dank, but it's really only on the back burner. This is stone fruit, passion fruit, grapefruit, and pine. It's just right straight up into my brain. And I'll take a little sip to follow up on that. It's somehow mastered all of those wonderful flavors in moderation, equaling something that, of course, cliche as it is, greater than the sum of its parts. And it's got that lovely color. Check it out. That sort of not too thick, opaque juiciness that, you think about a New England IPA, and it's really, it's just right. It's the what is it? The I want to say the bed's too soft, the bed's too hard. This is just right. God, why am I blanking on what fairy tale that is? But you know what I'm talking about. It's the just right bed of beer that makes me keep going back to it. And I realize I probably bought, I don't know, let's say 100 of these that have been rotating through the fridge over the past year or two. It's always there. It's always in Morrisons, by the way. Morrisons is the supermarket where I find this in Grantham. And for some reason, I'm reviewing beers all around it on the periphery, and I never gave this the respect it deserved. And so I'm doing that now. This is a pretty fantastic beer. I don't even know if I have it on Untapped, but if I do, it's going to get like a 4.5 probably, something almost unprecedentedly high. Now, if we want to learn a little bit more about it, Transient Northern Monk Double. This is it. So it's £3.50, but Morrisons has this deal where if you buy 4, you get 1 free. So really, it's not £3.50. It's cheaper than that, and it's like, this is just a fabulous deal. This is what I did today. Got 4 of them, and you can see it's from Northern Monk, Sydenham Road. You can order a whole bunch of them, and it's always here. So if you want to spend $3.50, cool. It's worth it if you're ordering from Northern Monk. Northern Monk is from up north. What a surprise if you don't already know about Northern Monk. We can do a quick recap. I've done other Northern Monk beers, and I've already gone through the brewery. Generally, they have 2 brewery locations with old and new varieties and experimentations, but there's a little who are we on there? Based up in Leeds, the old Flax Store does its own, and then the Sydenham Brewery, starting in 2014, they have become one of the, I would say, quintessential craft breweries that hasn't really necessarily be considered to have sold out in the UK. They are a go-to. So if you find yourself in Leeds, well, frankly, you're in craft beer heaven. If you're up north in Leeds or York, everything amazing seems to come from there. But do check it out. So this is me reviewing it. It does have a lot of good stone fruit in the nose. I don't get passion fruit, but as soon as you give it a little sip, you get this amazing, slightly soft carbonated mouthfeel. You now get that passion fruit, obviously without the pits and things. The stone fruit's in your nose, passion fruit's on the tongue, a little bit of dank, kind of in the back of your head that you're thinking, ooh, the forbidden fruit. And you've got that baseline piney, resinous, grapefruity, kind of pithy, bitter that the Citra provides. It's just a great beer. So there we go. I'm not going to spin around and lose my mind over it. I'm just trying to convey the fact that if you need a go-to beer that's a double dry hopped, almost on the border of being a double IPA at 7%, and you want beer lovers that are your friends to start with this, and it's available for super cheap, I can't think at the moment of anything better. I'm going to keep trying to do this because I know there are more like this where I just love it and I've not really evangelized, let's say, about it. But this one is definitely one of them. And by the way, quick shout out. Hey, Mercy Beers. Nice icon. Good to see you back. I'm happy to be back. I have been away for almost a month, and I'm looking forward to it. Little temporary shout out. I will be at the Manchester Beer Festival on Friday night. I think it's the 22nd of July. So if you do happen to watch this and you do happen to be there, I don't know how to find me. It's a big, busy beer festival, but I will be there. And in fact, this is where I've actually met in real life, Mersey Beer. So I think it's been maybe a year or two since I've been. I don't think I went last year. So this is me signing off and thoroughly condoning people who want to buy the Transient Hazy Double Dry Hopped IPA from Northern Monk from Morrisons. At 4 for the price of 3, at £3.50 each, you know, I can't complain. I give people who give supermarket beers a hard time. I give them a hard time because that's just a good beer. That's the end of this review. I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5 probably because it's got sexy art. It's got everything you want in a supermarket beer and beyond. That's the end. My name is Steve Giguere once again. I am an evangelist of wonderful beers, now from all over the world because I've been traveling around a lot. So I've been hitting Toronto, Spain. I was in Anaheim, and I should have done a beer review there. It was so hectic that I didn't get to do one. But I will be in New Orleans soon. Ooh, wonder what I'll find there, and I will do my best to be on the channel. So stay with me. Tell your friends. Hit subscribe. Ring the bell. That's the end. Steve out.